Atmosphere here at the Carib Royale Convention Centre in Orlando. They say players make tournaments. This has been an exception. It's the crowds that have made this event, and the atmosphere, well, it's producing Saturday night fever. And on that theme, sitting next to me, Paul's answer to John Travolta, Jeremy Jones.
Well, I haven't heard that one before, Phil, but I'll take it. And I'll take these quarterfinal matches, that's for sure. A lot of headliners here and some ones that have tasted some big victories and ones coming close. So interested to see. We can see 2 matches going on and a bonus 3rd match, which is the juniors, which we'll keep you updated on.
Well, Moritz Neuhausen hasn't experienced defeat in any form today. Didn't even lose a rack this afternoon. Came through 10-0 against Trung Quang He.
Yeah, this is going to be a difficult push out. Just going to probably be the lower right corner where he's standing now. And you got to really give up the bottom of the cue ball, most likely. I mean, you could roll out to maybe a thin cut to the upper left. This is also, I guess, an option I'm not in love with. But the reason why I'm not in love with this is because if it sits good, the crossover, you're definitely not getting it back, I don't think. If it sits bad, you're in kind of a hairy situation. So I think Mickey takes this. Pretty sure anyways.
Krause, the senior player, aged 24, the Viking. These two have both won televised matchroom events. Krause, the European Open last year. Neuhausen, the Premier League pool this year. And we were talking about him beating Trung Quang Lee this afternoon, 10-0. Well, to win the Premier League pool, he again completed a whitewash. 7-0 over Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. On form, he can be dynamite.
Yeah, and you mentioned him being 21, and of course his opponent here only 24, but exactly what you want to do in a regular tournament he did at that PLP, which is just get stronger as the days went on. And those were a lot of days, not only at the PLP but the European Open right before it. So probably did a lot of growing that week along with hoisting the trophy.
Clear shot on the 2, clear table. Nothing hindering anything else.
And this and breaking the balls, you know, clearing them is where Mickey really excels with the best players in the world. I mean, he's great tactically also. We saw that on the push-out option that he took, but he can really put a lot of racks together quickly. Hit that a little thick, so this may need to go a bit. Yeah, caught the very right side of that side pocket, so out of line kind of from nowhere. May flat cut this and just go into the 9. May just go around the 9 and end up with some distance on the 8. Excuse me, banked it. What a shot.
Worked out the positional aspect of the shot as well. Just the kind of confident start you want to make. So in one of our quarterfinals this evening, Mickey Krause strikes the initial blow. So all 4 quarterfinals will be played in this session. On table 2 right now, it is Aloysius Schaap of Singapore up against Max Lechner of Austria. And then the other 2 quarterfinals will follow on. Chang Yulong, who was very impressive in overcoming David Alcady this afternoon. He plays Emil Gangflow, who beat another Spaniard of high repute, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. And our next offering on the main table will be Shane Van Boning against John Morra. Can Morra come back and produce another fine performance after that energy sapping but wonderfully entertaining win over Jesus Atencio to start things off today? Mickey Krause, 9th in the World Nineball Tour rankings. And with a chance to really improve on that.
I believe in the last round there was a little talking about the speed of his break in question. Of course, it's not a Kachi break, but I think that was okay.
Started out with 2 comfortable wins. 9-0, 9-2 over Dan Kwang Hui and Michael Malkowski, as he again shows his potting prowess. Then he lost 9-6 to Badr Alawadi of Kuwait. But he bounced back, beating Christian Sadea. Then a fine win over Albin Aushin. An even better win over Carlo Biardo. And then this afternoon, Alexa Pacholsh was put to the sword. So with the rack he's just won, he's put together 64 winning racks in the tournament for the loss of only 32. So a 66% strike rate, that will work wonders.
Yes, it certainly will. And hard to really think about losing matches at that rate, any at all. But we talked about early in the tournament, one match, it looked like he had lost a little focus. I think it was me and you that agreed on that. But ever since then, he has been on point, and you can even see it, even without knowing his game or knowing him at all.
Originally from Herlev in Denmark, but now resident here in the United States. Just goes from tournament to tournament, an insatiable appetite for pool titles. On his last visit here, he was the only rookie on the European team that retained the Mosconi Cup. He contributed to that effort. And now as an individual, he finds himself 2-0 up on Moritz Neuhausen. Now, talking about our last visit here, there's a very important announcement coming up from Emily Fraser, CEO of Matchroom Multisport.
In case you haven't guessed it already, I'm here at the Stadium Club at the beautiful Caribe Royale Resort in Orlando, Florida. Florida Open's been a huge success. The Mosconi Cup sold out last year. So let's bring it back. USA versus Europe here, Orlando, Florida, next year, 2026. Get your tickets. This is going to sell out.
Well, there's that famous book, No Cheering in the Press Room, but I think we can cheer in the commentary box. That's a great decision. What a wonderful venue this will be for the Mosconi Cup again in 2026. Of course, we go to Alexandra Palace this year, and then it's back in Florida for the American soil version. Confirmation, no dates yet, but we know the venue. It will be right here where we are at the moment. 3 cheers to Matchroom for doing that.
Yeah, Phil, just imagine what it'd be like, how great it'd be with America coming off a win at Alexandra Palace this year, back here at the Caribe Royale.
Stop it. Tell you one thing, with the interest we've had in this tournament, with the interest we had last year in the Mosconi Cup here, I've just got an inkling that capacity might be increased. They can definitely sell those tickets. Mickey Krause wants to be here in a playing capacity.
Yeah, he doesn't miss the one very often. Cue ball a little bit below the racking area, so just depends on where the 2-ball ends up, but sometimes hard to get a shot. This is the type of shot you really don't want to push out on. I'm not sure how much of the 2 he can see on the left. If he can see quite a bit of it, he should be able to come get him behind the 3-8, I would think. Yeah, come in tight like that off the left side, a couple rails, and drop him down on the bottom with the cue ball. This is one supposed to really hit your mark, as long as you're not hampered by the 9. You can see him cueing extreme left English. Yeah, he got too thin on the ball. He's going to get a little fortunate here. And Moritz, he may have to kick at this, even though he can see some of it, but I don't know if there's any future going directly at that 2-ball.
By the way, the applause you heard there wasn't because Krause missed the 2. It was because in the junior final, Sophia Mast, well, she's equalised against Hayden Ernst at 1-1. Race to 9 that. Can Sophia do it? I personally think she can, although Ernst, what a fine prospect he is.
Yeah, only 14 years old as well, and plays out of a room with at least one player I know you can learn a lot from. That's Federer Gorst. They're in Kentucky area. Of course, Sophia right here from Florida. Was a little threatening looking, but I think Mickey knew all along he hit it exactly how he wanted. Looks like table 2, Lechner in position to tie the match. He has a little bit of a missed 8-ball he could miss, but should be okay. You can see Mickey Krause trying to extend his lead.
Max Lechner biting back, 1-1. What a start from Krause this has been.
Yeah, the basis of the game he does really well, which is knock those balls in. And you know, he's never going to make that bad of a decision. These players are too great for that. So if you're executing, you can handle the pressure. It's a good combination to win.
3-0, and I think you can trace all of this back to that superb bank on the 7 ball after losing ideal shape in the first rack. Ever since, it's been one-way traffic. So just to repeat the announcement we heard from Emily Fraser a while ago, the Mosconi Cup of 2026 at the tail end of next year will return to the Carib Royale, our venue, this week. So we're making another trip to Orlando for the biggest event on the pool calendar, Europe against the USA. It was such a success last year, and I'm sure the next version here will be even bigger. And on that note, Emily's with us. Emily, must say, great decision to bring it here. We weren't sure how it was going to turn out last year. It was even better. It exceeded everyone's expectations.
Yeah, you're so right, Phil. I mean, it is just fantastic here at the Carib. You know, everyone's happy. There's smiles on everyone's faces. I'm sure I just made a lot of people happy. Look, it's been a phenomenal week here for the Florida Open, our first ever Open tournament here. And the crowd has just got bigger every day. We've been scrambling to try and add more seats in, to just obviously accommodate. You know, we've had to turn people away for tomorrow for the final. But what a position that we want to be in to have such a great following here in Florida. To be able to have 2 tournaments here, a Mosconi Cup and a Florida Open, is just brilliant for the sport. There's so many people here that haven't travelled to our Matchroom events before. There's a lot of players that played in the event, and also a lot of fans that have said, this is my first ever Matchroom event, my first ever time playing, first ever time coming up. And, you know, it's us reaching a new audience and reaching new fans, and that's what it's about. Even our junior event, Sophia, she's from Florida. So it just makes perfect sense. The hosts here really are next level. You know, they've got a great convention space here. The hotel is different class, and I'm sure I've made a lot of staff very happy as well that they're coming back for the Mosconi Cup. But last year, the atmosphere for the Mosconi was probably the best ever Mosconi I've ever experienced in my career.
And it wasn't just the fact that people came through the door. We had so many VIP tickets sold as well. People embraced the whole atmosphere.
Exactly, and it was the best American atmosphere I've ever experienced, and it felt that, you know, we were playing the right music and everyone turned up in fancy dress. I felt like the American fans really dialed into it and were really, you know, passionate about, you know, cheering on Team USA. Obviously, we weren't, it wasn't a USA win. Team Europe did get it in the end, but it didn't kill the atmosphere. But look, next year is a long time away, but everyone can sign up to matchroompool.com and you can sign up for the ticket alerts there, because tickets will be going on sale very, very soon this year.
Yeah, just a point on that, not asking you for exact dates because clearly you don't know them, but it will be the same approximate time of year.
Yeah, it will be, you know, that end of November, beginning of December dates. And that's something that's really great for the Mosconi Cup, is that everyone now knows the point in the calendar. That's what we're trying to do with the World Nineball Tour. Similar with other sports, you know, under the Matchroom umbrella, is finding the right time in the calendar, making sure people know, oh, that's Mosconi time, that's Mosconi week, which is exactly what's going to happen here. You know, it's going to be a nice Christmas Mosconi Cup, but yeah, the dates will be coming out very, very soon, and we're nearly sold out with the Mosconi Cup tickets this year in London.
And the Florida Open presumably around the same slot next time?
It would be lovely, wouldn't it, Phil? I mean, I know we get a bit of thunder and lightning around 4 o'clock every day, but at least we know the kind of time it comes around now. And, you know, you think, right, don't go out for my dinner break yet because it's going to be that hour of rain. But It's been great here at the Caribe, and the Florida Open's been a huge success. Like I said, ticket sales have been increasing every day. You know, I think there's been a lot of walk up here. So for us, it's about getting the dates in ready for next year. I'd love to come back. I'm sure the Caribe would love to welcome us back as well. This could be a new home for Matchroom Pool, which I'm really excited about.
Well, thanks for telling us all about the Mosconi Cup in 2026. We've got the 2025 version first, though, at the Alexandra Palace in London. The American team will be strong. They'll be highly motivated. So will be Europe. I think the only thing we can confidently predict, Emily, is that the weather in London in December will be slightly cooler than it is at the moment.
Just a little bit. I mean, Ali Pali, you know, is renowned for being that time around Christmas. But look, we just go just before the World Darts Championship, which we all know is like a sellout. It is a crazy atmosphere, and then the Masters Snooker follow after that. You know, we kick it off in December at Ali Pali, and you know, we are snooker meets darts. We are a bit of a more of a raucous energy. I mean, just before we started live here tonight, we actually had someone from the crowd singing Baby Got Back, and well, I say singing, rapping actually. We do actually have such a great crowd, obviously, for the pool. But Ali Pali is going to be great. You know, obviously no one knows the captains yet. You know, we're just slowly releasing information. But all I can say to you, if you're sitting on the fence going, oh, should I go to the Mosconi this year? I'm telling you, it gets bigger and better every year we do the Mosconi Cup. You can't miss it. You'll be sat at home going, wish I was there. And that's what we do with the Mosconi Cup.
I've got a good friend of mine, you know him well, Stephen Hallworth, who's a snooker commentator. He always puts it in his diary. He and his mates go down there and they have a great time. They swear by it.
It is phenomenal. I mean, the thing is, you can bring your children, you can go with your mates. It's an evening out. And the great thing is that it runs for the first time ever. It's actually running from a Wednesday to a Saturday. So our Friday and Saturday night sales are really strong. You know, normally with the Mosconi Cup, because everyone was so fearful of the final 2 days, the days 1 and 2 were always really the strongest. Now we're selling out the Friday and the Saturday, which is obviously really great for the event. But look, it's get your beers in. It is get your fancy dress on. Get to Ali Pali, because whatever the scoreline is for the Mosconi Cup, I can promise you, you are going to have a good night out.
Absolutely, and maybe this year the Americans might be competitive.
Oh, I would love nothing more, Phil. You know how it's like, what do you want for Christmas this year? I would like a USA win, please. Thank you, Santa Claus. That is all I would like, and obviously for Moritz to have wanted that 9-ball to go in.
Yeah, it's going to happen at some point. Well, thanks for coming in, Emily, and it really is great news that the Mosconi Cup of 2026 is going to be held here at the Caribe Royale Resort in Orlando, Florida.
Thanks, Phil, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Get your tickets, guys, because it's going to be wild.
Well, Mickey Krause might be on his way to punching a ticket to this year's Mosconi Cup the way he's going. Underlining the tightness of those centre pockets, but having no problem rifling it down the long rail, the 7 in the corner.
It's going to get past this, a little bit of a blind pocket. Not the type you can use the side rail much, you know, you got to hit this a little cleaner.
One mistake in that rack, but in the end, it went the same way as the first 3. Mickey Krause has made the dream start. He leads 4-0. A little slower going on table 3, where Hayden Ernst and Sophia Mast are 1-1, but Ernst has the chance to retake the lead. Now that's an indication of his straight queuing. Didn't flinch, no hesitation. no hint of a snatch. Earns 2-1 up in his quest to be the Florida Open Junior champion. On table 2, Max Lechner leads Aloysius Yap 3-1 in a main event quarterfinal. Here it's all Krause.
Yeah, kept an eye on that match, and both of them have played really well. Aloysius just knocked in a big jump shot, long distance, to get back out of the chair to be able to do something offensive and get back to 3-2 with this combination. Looks like this break will do here for Mickey. Too late over the corner. Now, does he try to go back and forth here? I thought he could go rail first and kind of double kiss this in and take the 3 in the upper corner. Back and forth, watch out for the purple 5. Okay, I like this decision. You're playing really well. You pocket the balls. You know, I wouldn't say he's the absolute straightest shooter out there, but there's not a lot more of them out there that are better.
Shape is less of a priority when you can pot.
Yeah, and I think that's, you know, there's a few players out there that I think need to remind themselves of that sometimes. I think Josh Filler, to be honest, he's starting to do better in tournaments because he's leaning back on that shooting from distance a little bit rather than worrying about the cue ball. And you know as well as I do, psychologically, it goes both ways. You know, you get a little stronger and your opponent can make them a little weaker at times. Yeah, caught the wrong side of that. Wouldn't say fortunate to get a shot, but could have missed it. Did miss the center of the pocket by quite a piece.
Easy use of side. Another box of tricks that Krause unveils. Not afraid to use English and uses it well. "4-0 becomes 5-0. You know, he was sent to the one-loss side of the draw early on in the tournament by Badr Alawadi, but when he won his first tournament of the year, the Mini Derb 9-ball in Louisville, Kentucky, he was sent to the one-loss side there and bounced back, eventually beating Tony Chohan to lift the trophy. He also won the Jacoby Scottish Open, trouncing Aloysius Yap 10-3 in the final. Add to that a run to the semi-final of the Night Shot Open in Dubai, and it's been a pretty good 2025 for Mickey Krause. It didn't start all that well. He made a rather dismal defence of his European Open title in Sarajevo, but he got to the last 32 of the Whirlpool Championship recently, running into an informed James Arenas there. So all in all, we shouldn't be surprised he's prospering here.
Yeah, well, Mickey spends a lot of time, you know, kind of resides here, like you said, loves America. And uh-oh, another golden break to extend another lead. But he's very comfortable here. He's got a lot of fans as well, and he's always liked the US of A.
The pool gods are playing tricks with Moritz Neuhausen, giving and then taking away. This afternoon he won 10-0. Is it possible he could come back and lose 10-0? That would be an extraordinary turn of events. Well, Mickey Krause is 3/5 of the way there.
Yeah, you can definitely say it's still possible. We'll see how it unfolds, but tell you, hats off to Matchroom. And, you know, when I first walked in the arena, I you know, seen it a little early, not real early, but a little bit early. The 4-table setup, I was, you know, not in question. You know, they know what they're doing, but I was just curious how it was going to turn out. And I think it's turned out really, really well for the entire event. And of course, these fans made it that way.
Yeah, the quadrant really works, doesn't it? Bundles of fans down both sides, able to see multiple tables at the same time.
Yeah, little things going Mickey's way, not only playing well, but I think that cue ball was gone in the side pocket before it got that kiss. There's the 4-table setup, only down to 3 now, 2 for the main event, the Florida Open, the inaugural Florida Open. And then, of course, table 3 for the juniors final. Wants to attack, that's for sure. May crash into the 3 and 8. Just depends on how thin this is. Well, an open look.
And really, that's what he deserved to leave, because the 2 was nowhere near. Caught it far too thick.
Yeah, if you're wondering with the split screen how Max got back to the table after Yap winning the last game, it was a scratch on the break from Yap. Max with the clearance here to get that 2-game lead back at 4-2. Nine-ball pool can be brutal. I mean, he's supposed to knock this ball in, but this is no hanger for Moritz, especially hasn't had much table time. Got to get into the cue ball a bit.
We know he's got skill. We know he's got big prospects in the game. Here, he needs to show character. And of course, on this main table earlier this week, Neuhausen's fellow German, Thorsten Hohmann, overcame a 6-0 deficit to win.
And Sophia Mass gets back on the board to tie the juniors at 2 apiece. Yeah, we've seen big swings on this table. Not necessarily the full comeback in so many matches, but definitely, you know, where they've spun off 5, 6, 7 games in a row.
Yeah, Hohmann, 6-0 down, defeated Claudio Cacci, semi-finalist in the recent World Nineball Championship. And let's face it, this afternoon, after taking a 5-0 lead, John Morrett should have been beaten by Jesus Atencio. Atencio 9-5 up, in the balls to dish. Missed quite a straightforward 4.
Yes, he did. A ball none of us expected him to miss. Really, I was figuring the match was over. There was so much more drama left. And really coming down the end, there were some crazy situations, you know, like the 9 got kind of shot at a few times. I wouldn't say totally unexpectedly, but that stuff doesn't come up that often like that. It was really a fun watch. All right, pay attention to this 7. This basically ends the rack.
It will be a source of relief, this. Until you've got a rack on the board, you don't really feel involved in the contest.
Well, you said that cliche earlier about winning that last rack. That cliche usually goes with winning the first as well. Those are the 2 toughest to get a hold of.
After dominating the first half dozen racks, Mickey Krause grossly undercut the 2-ball to middle. Neuhausen did the rest. He's on the board. So this is the calendar for the year. There you see Neuhausen's name next to the Premier League. coming up, the US Open in Atlantic City, then a triple header in Asia, Hanoi Open, Reyes Cup, Philippines Open, all in the month of October. And then the year culminates with a crescendo, the Mosconi Cup, Europe defending against the USA at Alexandra Palace from December the 3rd to the 6th.
Yeah, you can hear it a little out of frustration knowing he's snookered. He's going to have to let Mickey Krause have a decision here to open this game.
Yeah, he didn't find it funny, but I did. 3 balls still rolling when he said push.
Yeah, and you got to overcome some usually. Don't recall big mistakes from Moritz. It was really just Mickey creating this big lead. But a lot of times you still got to overcome it a bunch of different ways, and then maybe things start to open up, break, and you get a few shots. I'll tell you, a guy who's breaking and getting a few shots is the guy we just panned to, Max Lechner. Looks very dangerous to me.
One of the questions, rhetorically, we always ask, when's Max going to win one? Maybe this is the one.
Yeah, great shot, but every little thing, you know, it's a bare ball right there, and Mickey certainly deserves it as well as he hit it, but it doesn't always have to land just to the premium. But now the jump cue. What great control.
It's not been all wine and roses for Neuhausen here. After a walkover in his first match, he lost his second, 970, Yannick Pongers. So then it was 3 matches on the loser side, which he negotiated with ease. But there's nothing easy about this. Once he got into single elimination, it was a case of beating Miga van Berkel. Bernie Regalario, what a good win that was. And then, of course, this afternoon, he handed Trung Quang Lee a donut, 10-0.
Yeah, we're just going to have to bury a big shot soon.
I think that qualifies as big.
Yeah, you just don't feel like Mickey with an open chance is going to make a glaring mistake, or even 2 maybe needed. So Moritz is going to have to stick in there, maybe get to the breaking end again, put a few racks together. Probably a little closer to the purple than he wanted, coming at 2 cushions.
The junior final is evenly poised, but Sophia Masters got the chance to hit the front for the first time. So many good female youngsters playing pool in the United States these days. Sophia Mast, Savannah Easton, and there's Savannah, her great rival, Sophia. Well, she's taken a 3-2 lead in that title quest.
Yeah, Savannah from the West Coast-ish, Las Vegas, and Sophia from the East Coast here in Florida. The West Coast of Florida, though, more the Tampa area.
And Neuhausen here showing a lot of heart. It was 6-0, at which point it was bleak. At 6-2, there's more than a ray of hope. Yeah, going back to Sophia Mast, I think having 2 young pool players breaking through, showing great skill and aptitude at the same time, I think it's good for both of them, Easton and Mast. Nothing like having something to aim for.
Yeah, and the junior ladies have that. Of course, the boys divisions, there's many that have made a lot of memories in the last several years playing many junior tournaments around the country and really abroad. We've got to see them kind of transform and start to play in the pro events and have some success doing so.
Yes, and of course at the World Nineball Championship, Soa created one of the stories of the week by beating Albin Auschen centre stage, and boy did she play well to do so.
Oh, she played beautifully. Yeah, that's what he's wanting there. Really nice spread. You see, when the timing's good, you don't have to crush them to get those great spreads. A lot of movement on the balls. Got up here this first one, it looks like the angle. I don't know if he can go forward and go between the purple and the red coming back up. He's going to try and kind of smooth it. Good thing is, I don't think getting snookered or anything too, too damaging is really available.
At the age of 21, he's built a really good CV. He was European Under-23 champion in 2022. The following year, he won the Connecticut Open. Last year, he won the Medellin Open in Colombia. Runner-up, partnering Joshua Filler in the 2023 World Cup. Highest ever WNT ranking 11. He's currently 15th. And then, Jeremy, you look at this year, runner-up in the Turning Stone Classic, made the last 16 of the European Open. He was 10th at the Derby City Classic 9-ball, quarter-finalist at the Nightshot Open and the Rally in Shenandoah Valley. Was disappointed to lose in the last 64 of the World Championship, but all in all, 2025 has been a solid year again for Neuhausen, enhanced by what he's done here, regardless of what happens in this match.
Yeah, absolutely, and puts in a lot of time. Really fine young man, of course, like many of them are. And people don't realize it is August, but we still have so much pool left coming up in the late summer, early fall months. This guy's name, along with his opponent, they want to be heavily involved in all those events.
The good folk of Gunnersbach in Germany will be proud of Neuhausen, and they'll be proud of the way he stood up to the initial Krause onslaught. (6-0) is now 6-3. In the junior final, Hayden Ernst has got a really good chance to make it 3-3 against Sophia Mast. Racks being traded over there. I was watching him practice earlier on for quite a while on a table that's close to our commentary position, and what struck me, he was all business. Quite often you see the juniors, when they're practicing, they're playing big extravagant shots and deep screws and all kinds of funny side on the ball. He was just routinely trying to run racks. No fuss, no frills, no flashy stuff. He looks to me as though he's a very intense and ambitious young man.
Yeah, and very sharp as well, just real on top of it, even at 14 years old. Stretch got him on the 8 a little bit there, so he ended up short on the 9. This is a kind of on the 50-yard line. Probably take the cut up in the corner, we'll see from Sophia.
Still early days, but what a big shot this is now. Scoreboard and psychologically a big shot.
Yeah, it looks like Neuhausen is breaking better every time, so he's climbing back in.
Oohs and ahs as Sophia Mast. That was a valiant attempt, but it was overcut, and so Ernst is given a second opportunity. He will be so relieved after missing the initial 9-ball to the centre. 3-3.
Yeah, this 2-ball should be one he doesn't worry too much about. I don't think. The speed, though, it's a big 5-ball looming out in the center of the table. He'll go back and forth between the 9 and the 5. Notice the pink on the bottom end, so he wants to get off the rail and some type of angle on the 3. Yeah, kind of let up on it just a little bit on the follow through.
Jesus Atencio, still smiling. I would find it very difficult. He came so close to being here this evening. So close.
Yeah, he Wants to nip this a little with speed. Yeah, she got the gap though, so we may see somewhat of a trick shot. I don't know, maybe the 9's got him cut off a hair.
If you like the spectacular that shot was for you. Okay, no shape attached, but what a pot. Typical Krause.
Yeah, he's fun to watch, and like all these players still have some improving in certain departments and sharpening them tools, but good thing for him is he just absolutely loves it. Plays in so many tournaments, trying to win, trying to get better at all times.
Yes, he's on the road all the time. The morning after the Mosconi Cup last year, here in the lobby of the hotel. Said to him, so where are you based then, Mickey? He went, I'm not. I think he was off to a tournament in East Texas or something like that. Maybe Louisiana, whatever. But he's constantly on the go, constantly looking for pool success. Krause, born under a wandering star and a real star of this 9-ball game.
Yeah, this is going to be tricky here. He's going to go between, I think, the 6-9. Wouldn't hurt the most if he caught the 6. Doesn't want to catch the 9, though. Went right between them. Nice shot. Great control.
Just to keep you right up to date with the other quarter-final going on table 2. Max Lechner's lead over Aloysia Schaap is 5-3.
Fell a little straight, but off the rail with the cue ball so he can dig on it.
Of course, Krause is results orientated. That goes without saying, but what makes him really happy is when he performs well and cues nicely. And he most certainly is so far this evening. And look at Sophia Mast. Missed that tough 9-ball in rack 6, but so what? In to retake the lead. In the quarterfinal, she beat Kato Okamura 7-1. Then in the semi-finals, Harrison Lehnen 7-2. Star quality on display. 4-3 Mast. If you're in the middle of those bleachers, Jeremy, what a treat for you. You can see both quarterfinals going on and the junior final at the same time. As for Aloysius Schaap, get this one sorted out, this shot, and he should make it 5-4.
Yeah, Lechner was running out and missed that 5 ball in the corner. That's why it was hanging. Got a chance to get that lead to 3 games. So a little thinner here on the 6th than it appears. So has to make a decision. Am I easing this a bit? Am I spinning it a hair? I got to come above the 7. Decided to go 4 rails. Not the most common way to play position on that type of shot from there. And has landed somewhat odd, I think. He's going to have to draw the cue ball.
Technically, Jaap is very proficient. You know, on our Asian journey last year, Aloysius Schaap provided a great moment, sealing the decisive point in the Reyes Cup. The week before that, it was the Hanoi Open, and we returned to the Vietnamese capital in October. 7-12, the precise dates. The Vietnam National Sports Complex will be hosting the event again, and that massive bank of 3,000 spectators making so much noise, enjoying themselves so much. Then on we go to the Reyes Cup. This time though, while Jaap provide the clinching point for Asia to beat Europe, this time, well, the Asian task is going to be so much more difficult because it's Asia against the rest of the world. Well, Krause, who played for Europe in the Reyes Cup last year, be on the rest of the world team. Well, winning here, not just this match, but the whole shebang, that would greatly enhance his prospects.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, already pretty solid 2025. A big win here would, who knows how far it'd carry him into these next few events. You have to put him as one of the favorites, really, if he not already. Could cut this. Okay, he's going to play safe with that tip down low, maybe coming behind the 8. And got a little thin, so he's going to leave more of a jump, maybe a swerve, probably a jump.
And when it comes to drilling in a 2-ball with a jump shot, we've already seen the capabilities of Neuhausen. This, though, even tougher than the original. The 2 through the gap into open play.
Yeah, not easy, but he can get by the 6 going forward, so that makes the shot a hair more comfortable. This will tell you how he's hitting them, that's for sure. Did he leave a pocket? I'm not sure. Maybe a 2-9 combo.
Hayden Ernst has equalised in that great junior final. It's going back and forth, 4-4. think it's fair to say, Jeremy, asking a lot. The 9 in motion, yes. But the way that Krause pots, you don't want to leave him a sighter like this.
Yeah, and a 4-9 looming, I think. He's just got to draw this over, get a little angle on the 3 to be able to move the cue ball back in position for an early combo. Squeezed it home. Gotta believe this shot's going to extend the lead, get in position on a chip-in combination in the right middle.
Four 9, 8-3. Krause just 2 racks away from progress now. It's not been a bad match by Neuhausen. Not at all. You can't really be overly critical of him, but it's been a really good performance from Krause. Certainly on the offensive side.
No, he's been really good. I mean, a couple little things came up where you're kicking at a ball, or you're in a tight spot, so you're not sure of the outcome entirely. And he's been on the the good end of that. But he's played awesome as well. So you get those rolls when you're playing great.
It's only last year he made his big breakthrough when the Mez Bucharest Open in Romania, beating Hubert Lopotko 11-7 in the final, and ever since he's gone from strength to strength.
Table 2, Yappat on the 8 ball to run out and tie the match at 5 games apiece. So Yappat still continue to play pretty perfect. Max really good. One missed 5 ball that could end up being a crucial one.
It's a brutally tough sport, pool, 9 ball in particular, and yet, at tournament after tournament, we see the cream rises to the top. The top guys are the top guys for a reason. Yes, you get your Cinderella stories occasionally, but it's the usual suspects at the end of proceedings, the business end.
Yeah, of course, they're the talented guys, but also usually the hardest workers. To me, that all is pretty obvious, the ones that are putting in that time.
Big applause for the junior final. Sophia Mast is back in front again at 5-4. Seems like a very cool customer.
Yeah, super nice young lady.
There she is. What an achievement it would be if she could claim this title.
pretty smart shot. He's left a rail first and a really difficult jump also.
There's a great tradition of German pool success. Obviously now you think of the wonderful Joshua Filler, but generations ago, or a decade or so ago, you got Torsten Homan, Ralph Suke, Oliver Ortmann.
Yeah, Thomas Ingert, who didn't win as many titles, but another great player.
What a good pot. Really unlucky where the 8 has come to rest. Stymieing the 4.
And really trapped to make the 3. Can't really bump the 3 away and play a safety, it doesn't appear. So he's going to have to pocket the 3 and get in position to do something pretty nifty on the 4. He's going to need that to settle. Don't think it's gonna. Really thought he could stick the cue ball behind the black 8. A lot of times you might want to just go ahead and not make sure you get the pink 4 up the table. But it's a hard one.
On table 2, doesn't seem anything hard for Aloysius Schaap to take the lead against Max Lechner. And don't forget, the winner of that match plays the winner of this one in the semi-finals tomorrow. Lechner made the superior start, but now it seems Schaap will take all the beating. The Singaporean in front. Oh, he was close to the side cushion, too close for comfort, but the missed 7 ball still. That came as a shock, Jeremy.
Yeah, he shot the 6 it was and landed on the rail dead straight, so had to roll and play from underneath on the black 8 and just let the 7 get away. Big moment. Just gonna say stay away from the 9 here as you're coming back with the cue ball.
Just when it seemed as though Mickey Krause was going to climb onto the hill, it's 8-4. Moritz Neuhausen has renewed hope.
And talk about renewed hope. It looked like a 9 on the break for Yap to extend his lead to 7-5. That 9 hung, nothing else went, and Max Lechner's got a shot. So I feel like as good as Yap's playing, he's really got to start now and keep the foot on the pedal.
Racks continue to be traded in the junior final. Hayden Ernst winning the 10th to make it 5-5 against Sophia Mast. This crowd loving every moment. What a day it's been. And a lot of the crowd were in very early, taking their seats in prime positions an hour before we broke off this evening. When you miss a ball like the 7 that Mickey Krause has just missed, sometimes it lingers in the mind. And thoughts like that can fester.
Yeah, and we always talk about when you keep your opponent off the hill, you feel like no matter what the score is, you can make that comeback. He's breaking great, just a matter if he gets a look. Looks like he's going to be snookered here on this one. Blue 2's been up table quite often. There's always been that impeding ball. This is the type, I mean, it's almost got to be a jump shot, really. Could roll out to the lower right corner, but don't think you're going to get it back. And a missed 3 ball by Max Lechner is going to lead probably to a combination on the 9 for Aloysius Yap to extend his lead.
Yep, just scoping it out, analysing the angle, now into pounce. Nailed it. 7-5.
And he's just the type of player that keeps a lot of heat on those other players just because he's not going to make a glaring mistake. His percentage of getting out when they're open is as high as anyone's.
And that's what happens when you miss a ball you should pot. Suddenly the rolls that were going for you go the other way.
Yeah, nice shot there. Playing the cue ball up the table and just take your chances on the 2. Yeah, them pool gods, they're not real loyal overall. They will switch on you quickly.
Yeah, they certainly like to make players suffer, don't they? The shoulder dropped when he realised what he'd done there, Neuhausen, but the brown 7-ball has come to his rescue.
And I tell you, Mickey may entertain cutting this to the upper left. I think he goes by the brown, 2 rails down for the red 3. I think he makes it more often than he misses it. I really do. I think he should really look at trying to make this ball. He's trying to move the 2 into position down here safe, and that could get away. Oh, he went for the bank. Wow.
What do they say? Fortune favours the brave. This was very brave.
Can he hold him on the 8 right there? Oh, he could. Made the 6 though. Didn't feel like it was going to throw that much. He thought it was aimed to the left rail, but when the balls are close together, they push in the same direction the cue ball's heading. And very unfortunate, but not anticipated make on the 6.
In the junior final, momentum shifting yet again. Sophia Mast can certainly pot a ball, and she's not going to miss this 9. Oh, but what a pot that was from Krause. What a cruncher. Mast 6-5. Krause has laid the groundwork for 9-4.
He's just got to pay attention a little bit. Come 2 rails off the purple here in a moment. Get somewhat tidy on the 7. You can handle a lot. Either angle's okay. You can play short side on the 8 here in a moment. I wouldn't back off this too much. I'd come 2 rails fairly aggressively at the brown. Yeah, I like that. Trying to get in position somewhat close. You can always draw to the left and play the 8 in the lower right.
There's nothing more intimidating for a player than seeing his opponent knock in a succession of terrific balls. Krause has done that in this match, almost from the get-go. And the pot that initiated this dish was perhaps the best of the lot. On the hill, Nicky Krause, the Dane, 5 up with a possible 6 racks to go.
And really just capacity crowds here around the entire 4 tables. Some standing room only as well.
Yeah, we were led to believe coming here that the ticket sales had been healthy, but we didn't realise the full extent of just how many people would turn up. Been lots in, of course, all week, but with 28 tables going on, they were widely spread. Now the attention is just on 3. Of course, Neuhausen can come back from this. 6 racks on the trot. Well, he won 10 on the trot this afternoon. But with Krause breaking off, Neuhausen knows he's skating on thin ice.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get a look at the 2. cue ball slowed down for that gap. Not sure what his options are here. If he can come one rail, you know, at the 6 kind of smoothly, or he's got to come around. May contact the 6 here. Yeah, not the right way.
Wanted a nudge, not a flick.
I like this kick if he's comfortable hitting it, though. A lot of ways to not leave too much of a shot. He's not going to get a cushion, I don't think. Yes, he is.
Really lucky in more ways than one. Neuhausen shakes his head in disbelief. One of those occasions where a player smiles and the actual emotion is anything but a smile.
Extension.
It's a grimace.
Like a lot of these leads this week, or even some comebacks that were given up, it's not like Neuhausen has played poorly or anything like that. It's just been Mickey from the start. Getting control, some breaking runs, some big shots.
Living the good life.
Some wag in the audience said, "You've been living the good life, Mickey." Well, I think after the fortune he's had in this rack, might have been living in a monastery.
Good clean living is what we say at the pool room. Produces these little bitty rolls.
Skill trumping luck there. What a good shot that was. Neuhausen most certainly not in this to surrender. By the way, Aloysius Schaap just nipping out of the arena with an 8-5 lead over Max Lechner now. And for the first time, we've seen Sophia Mast take a 2-rack lead, 7-5 over Hayden Ernst. I've been so impressed with Sophia.
Yeah, all the juniors really, and Hayden is pretty well known junior to be so special at a young age, all of them. The junior tournaments have done a lot, I think, for these kids.
Checked up the white to avoid any possibility of making contact with the 9. Nicky Krause stalled on the hill. It was 9-4. Neuhausen just pulling one back. Next up on the main table, of course, at the conclusion of this one, another match to savour. It will be Shane Van Boning against John Morra. And you know, in between sessions, John was on the practice table knocking balls in, and he stayed there. He's having a really lengthy session, trying to groove his game to take on SVB. Second up on table 2 this evening will be Chang Yulong. The man from Chinese Taipei took apart David Al-Qaidi this afternoon, 10-2. And he now plays Norway's Emil Gangflo, who had a famous win over Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. Unusually, in one of these matchroom majors, we get to the quarterfinals and not a single Filipino in sight.
Yeah, the 2 caught the point and it bounced up, so he's going to have a shot. A good shot as well. Just going to draw the cue ball back for the 3. When you really have to have one, and he's going to need a few more than one. This is a nice one to start on. These aren't too difficult. Wouldn't throw your cliche out there, your little phrase you like to use there, Phil, but again, these are pretty easy.
Tell you what, folks, Jeremy Jones this week has used roadmap more than me.
I didn't say it though, but
You thought it. That counts.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, but you know, he deserves a few.
I really like his approach, Neuhausen. Always smart. A real pro.
Yeah, he's a real funny guy too, I tell you. Really like Moritz. He's just got to pay attention here.
Extension.
Could have used a little more angle or a little less on that 50. A little more angle to move it forward around the 7. A little easier, which is what he's going to choose.
It's an identical situation in the junior final. 4 balls left on the table. Green being shot at. Sophia Mas knocks it in. 3 pots away from an 8-5 lead and being on the hill. No doubt who they will be supporting at the Moscone Cup here at the Carib Royale next year. Same team as you, Jeremy, in your impartial way.
Yeah, and they're probably here to lend a little support to the big guy, SVB, in the later round.
A little positional blip for Sophia Mas, but the 9 will pot. Neuhausen remaining stubborn, not going down without an almighty effort. Oh, no. Hayden Ernst is saying, oh, yes, but you have to say.
Towards that corner.
It was a collective groan as that cue ball went in. So what looked like 8-5 to Mast is now 7-6. We've had so many great matches here over the course of the last 5 days, and the junior final falling into the same category. How do you cope with a disappointment like that?
He's breaking the balls. Awesome. I mean, it's a matter of getting shots, and he's gotten another one. Everything's in the clear.
The session this afternoon began with a comeback from near elimination. John Morra, 9-5 down, went 10-9 against Jesus Atencio. Could Moritz Neuhausen go one better and rally from 9-4 down?
A little in between here. I don't think following is an issue. May draw it from distance to the side rail and out. Hard to tell exactly how much angle's on this 2-ball. Yap now on the hill and just putting on a clinic again. Just flawless pull from the man from Singapore. 9-5, he's ahead of Lechner.
Little trait there of Moritz Neuhausen, always puts his chalk, not just on the cushion rail, on the diamond.
Yeah, that's right, actually. Do you remember that now? Curious to see how he plays this 2-ball. Just the tip position, if he's going to draw it or follow. Well, he moved it to another diamond. That confirms it.
As those who live near to Alexandra Palace might say, he's a diamond geezer. And that was a diamond of a shot.
He stood pretty nice again, Phil. Of course, a nice opening shot on the 2. Had to go into the 3 and gamble a little bit, but that's 9-ball pool.
And Mickey Krause entitled to be sitting there feeling somewhat fidgety.
A very good word for it. Fidgety. There's a lot of applications, doesn't it? Adding that extra weight. If he's putting a lot of right spin here, could get a hair more deflection. Watch out for the little bit of a thick hit here to the pocket. He hit it to the top side, maybe trying to allow for that.
And that's the problem when your opponent's on the hill. One mistake and it could be your last shot.
When he hit it, he didn't look that upset. A lot of times the players know as soon as they stroke the ball really what the outcome's going to be.
He is such a reliable potter. It's only the situation, the circumstance, the stakes that could prevent Krause from winning here. There's a character called Mickey just down the road from here who's made billions. This Mickey could be on the road to making $40,000 US by winning the Florida Open. We can say with certainty he's the first player